Christmas is one of the most awaited holidays all around the world. For many, this is the only holiday where families are able to spend time together. For others, their love for the holiday is from the thought of receiving gifts from their titos and titas. Perhaps this is why we Filipinos love the Christmas season. But does our love for Christmas go so far that we now celebrate Christmas for 4 months? Let's find out! As soon as the Burr months begin on September 1, the Philippines starts setting up for Christmas. Since most Filipinos are Catholic, according to Brother Clifford Surita, the Advent calendar states that the Nativity begins 4 Sundays before Christmas. It is not merely based on popular culture or trends from social media or public establishments like malls. It has become quite a tradition of preparing for parties, family gatherings, trips, and more. Filipinos are known to love this holiday as to how this enables or gives an opportunity to spend more time with family and friends. This is similar to how Filipinos love to celebrate fiestas and how Christmas has become a long and old tradition to celebrate earlier and longer than in other countries as it has been done for many generations. However, this can't be the only reason why we celebrate Christmas that early. Some of the other reasons are that Christmas is a marketing strategy for people to start shopping for gifts. Malls and stores usually get crowded in the month of December, so some Filipinos begin as early as September to buy Christmas gifts for their mothers, fathers, siblings, grandparents, titos, titas, and the list goes on and on. As decorations and items are Christmas themed, we also start making and setting up decorations such as paroles. This is likely because Filipinos love celebrating. We love to celebrate and prepare food, sing, dance, and get together. But why is that? This may be because of the traits we possess: hospitality, generosity, creativity, and dedication to family. Another possible reason as to why we celebrate Christmas early is that as family reunions and gifts are a tradition, Filipinos working abroad, or OFWs, try to send balikbayan boxes or travel back home. In a religious perspective, since the country is 92% Christian and 88% moderately religious, traditions and practices are highly followed, such as attending simbang gabi.
Let's take a closer look at the historical events that possibly inspired the extent of our Christmas spirit. Currently, our Christmas season is packed with cultural and religious observations caused by the spread of Roman Catholicism as a result of Spanish colonization. Most of us refer to Christmas as Pasko, which came from the Spanish phrase Pascua de Navidad, or Easter of the Nativity. As mentioned, the Philippines is known to be the country that celebrates Christmas way earlier than others. This is likely due to the Christmas countdowns and early singing of Christmas carols. Surprisingly, even during the Spanish colonization, the Philippines already had one of the longest Christmas observances, largely due to religion. Other colonies of Spain were also observed to have quite a long Christmas season that begins on December 16 and ends in January. One of the traditions we do to celebrate Christmas is the Simbang Gabi, which originated in the early days of the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. Simbang Gabi is a 9-day series of devotional mass that happens before Christmas Day. During the Spanish period, Simbang Gabi started around 3 to 4 a.m. due to the number of people attending these masses. In Spanish, these masses are called Misa de Aguinaldo, or gift masses, and Misa de Gallo, or rooster's mass. Nowadays, these two terms are used interchangeably to refer to the first 8 masses or the 9th mass on Christmas Eve. As the mass comes to an end on the final day of Simbang Gabi, Noche Buena takes place. Queso de bola, ham, lechon de leche, and seasonal fruits are a few things often served in Noche Buena feasts. This tradition started ever since the Spanish period. All things considered, the Spanish definitely influenced our devotion to their celebration of Christmas. Although ever since the end of the Spanish colonization, many of the Christmas traditions during that period have changed. For example, Simbang Gabi can now be attended at 8 p.m. instead of before dawn. However, one thing will never change, and that is the fact that Christmas remains one of the most awaited holidays in the Philippines. Now let's take a look at the current events that possibly inspired our love for the Christmas season. At present, Filipinos still follow the long tradition of celebrating Christmas with their families and friends. Even OFWs go home just to spend time with their loved ones at the very special holiday. As mentioned, we Filipinos love celebrating, so it's no surprise that we hold holiday activities during Christmas. One of which being the Paskuhan celebration in UST. University of Santo Tomas is one of the biggest and most prestigious universities in the Philippines. They celebrate their Christmas every December Eve with various festivities, acting as one of their greatest traditions upon the coming of Christmas Eve. Various activities are included in this feast, including panunuluyan, or the representation of the search for lodging before the birth of Christ. There is also what they call the Battle of the Bands, or Tunog Tomasino, wherein local musicality has been appreciated by the mass audience inside and outside UST to be broadcasted on local television, radios, and social media platforms. The entirety of this festivity also includes the lighting of the campus until the end of Christmas season.
There are also various pasyalan attractions where Filipinos can celebrate and tour around with their families. These places are filled with Christmas spirit, involving the countdown before Christmas, lighting of the Christmas trees, lantern festivals, and a lot more. For example, the Green Hills Bazaar or Night Market in San Juan, wherein countless food stalls and tiangges are located. During this time of the year, those stalls become one of the biggest enticements for Filipinos to enjoy shopping. There is also a creative sighting about Jesus' life in which customers in the night market can enjoy.
Another event is the Meralco lighting. Annually, during the Christmas season, the entire area of Meralco is lit up with colorful lights to celebrate Christmas. Somehow similar as Green Hills, but bigger. Upon entering the premises of Meralco, visitors would be able to sight fun rides, delicious Filipino food, Christmas toy stalls, and a lot of picturesque settings. Another event is the holiday fireworks display in the SM Mall of Asia, one of the biggest and most admired malls in the Philippines, with its wide variety of activities and chilling spots such as stores, rides, foods, the Bayview, and etc. Showcases fireworks from November to December are done to commemorate Christmas with fellow Filipinos and even tourists who are in the area. Now that we've looked at the historical and current events, we have a clearer picture of how important Christmas is for us Filipinos. Yet this alone is not enough. It is also important to ask our fellow Filipinos why they think Christmas is such a beloved holiday for us to celebrate months prior to the actual date. Here we have invited people to share their thoughts and their stories with us.
I think the reason why Filipinos love to celebrate Christmas early is because the season and because Christmas season in general is very ingrained in our culture and our identity as Filipinos. So basically, you know how a lot of people say that Filipinos, they're really generous, they're really family oriented. I think these qualities really, reflect Christmas and our identity with the events. So, you know how seasons, like in other countries, especially in the West, where they have four seasons. I think another possible reason is since Filipinos don't really have that definite border for each and individual seasons. There's just like this time in the year where we just there's just a transition. There's no just set dates for it except for like the Burr months. So I think celebrating Christmas early allows Filipinos to enjoy the festive season for a longer period, so they really enjoy gift giving, being together as a community, as a family. And especially number one is celebrating Jesus Christ's birthday, like the Savior. So during Christmas, the number one thing we always do is to celebrate Christmas with extended family. Like that's the number one thing. But apart from that, the minor secondary things are having to put up lights, decorations, having to put up the Belen with Jesus in it, the Christmas tree, buying gifts. So all of these things combined, this is what I would consider celebrating a Filipino Christmas. But then, like recently in the pandemic, my family really wanted to highlight, Jesus's birth because we have a tendency to forget the roots of Christmas, which is celebrating the birth of Christ. So what happens is we get so caught up with the holidays that we forget like the religious aspect of it. So instead of celebrating Christmas, we're celebrating what? Santa Claus. We're celebrating the reindeers, snowman, things that aren't even tangible in the Philippines compared to the West. Like these are ideologies that we learned from the West and that are being adapted here. But apart from that, the gift giving, being able to celebrate dinner, having mass before Christmas, that's what my family usually focuses on. The reason why we do this is, so we stay grounded with our beliefs and mostly because it's what we were raised in and taught in. So it's basically, you could call it the culture we grew up in, like in my family, that is. So yeah, like I said, it has a significant part in our identity and our culture. So with that, like we have our own unique traditions in celebrating Christmas. Like one is Noche Buena, the other is Simbang Gabi, where we basically have mass consecutively before Christmas Day. And apart from that, we also have like Christmas carols, even in November, of children, old people, everyone in between, they go out caroling for Christmas. And even in my school, which is UST, we have this thing called Paskuhan, where we celebrate, the end of the semester, the end of the year together, celebrate Christmas on top of that. Should it be followed or not? Honestly, I think it like such following a certain tradition shouldn't be dictated by external influences except our own. Like yes, we get influenced with such traditions because it's in the environment we grew up in. But to say we should follow it or not is, I guess, is a matter of personal preference and, having that cultural appreciation for, our Christmas traditions. Well, it is not necessary to follow these customs. Respecting and recognizing them can help individuals understand and appreciate the rich and cultural heritage of the Philippines. So yes, I don't think that these traditions should be followed or not. I just think that it's up to the person's own personal preference and have this respect for and appreciation.
Sa iyong personal na opinion, bakit kaya ginugunita ng maaga ang Pasko sa bansa?
Okay, ginugunita nila na maaga yung Pasko sa bansa ng Pilipinas. Unang-una, for the business, no? Kasi sa negosyo, mas gusto nila ginugunita maagang Christmas para mas maaga sila makabenta ng mga, alam na natin, mga gamit pang Christmas decorations, ganyan. Secondly, maaga nila sineselebrate para syempre mas maaga din pamamili ng mga pangregalo para sa mga pamilya, sa mga kapatid o family members. And for me, kasi ang Pasko ay mahalaga sa mga bawat Pilipino. Mas maaga mo i-celebrate, parang mas masaya yung mga tao pagka gusto lang. Kaya yun ang dahilan, kaya napapaaga ang pag-celebrate ng Pasko sa Pilipinas.
Ano ang mga kinagisnan mo at ng pamilya mo na pamamaraan ng pagdiwang ng Pasko at bakit nyo ito ginagawa?
Okay, sa amin nung araw, nung bata pa kami, ang kinagisnan ko noon is tuwing darating na yung Christmas or like December 1, doon pa lang kami magtatayo ng mga Christmas trees. Yun talaga yung tradisyon na naming ginagawa on the first day of December. Hindi katulad ngayon na napakaaga, minsan August pa lang, nagkakaroon na ng mga Christmas decorations. Kaya naman hindi namin sineselebrate ang Pasko dahil syempre kami ay mga Katolikong tao, and then we just follow the tradition. Wala namang mawawala dahil masaya rin naman pagka may Pasko. Ganun.
Ano ang masasabi mo sa tradisyonal na pagdidiwang ng mga Pilipino? Dapat ba ito masunod o hindi?
Sa akin dapat na masunod kasi wala namang mawawala eh. Most especially mga Katoliko, yan ang talagang mga inaabangan. Kahit hindi naman Katoliko, kahit anong religion, yan ang mga inaabangan, lalong-lalo na sa mga bata, sa mga kabataan. Kasi pagka dumarating ang Pasko, alam na nila, bagong damit, sapatos, may mga laruan. Sa mga bata, actually, ang pag-celebrate ng Pasko, mas inaabangan ng mga bata yan compared do sa mga, syempre, mga adult na. So, gusto lang natin din pasayahin ang mga bata, mga anak natin during Christmas, and we celebrate kasi nga ganon, alam natin Pasko ng pagkabuhay yon ni Jesus Christ. So as a Catholic, yung paniniwala natin nandoon, kaya kailangan natin i-celebrate at ituloy pa rin.
Overall, Christmas in the Philippines and how it is celebrated is already ingrained in Filipino culture and is part of being Filipino. It is something that people of all ages look forward to as the year comes to an end, and helps us remember not just the birth of Jesus Christ, but also what makes us truly Filipino. And while some traditions and practices may change with the passage of time, the spirit of celebrating Christmas early and for longer will stay with the Filipino people. And that concludes our presentation on why Christmas in the Philippines is celebrated for long. Thank you for watching, and God bless.